Hey there, Pittsburgh. City Commissioner Jeremy Johnson here. Welcome back to Commissioner's Corner. So today, rather than talking about a whole slate of issues as I have with other videos, I'm going to use this video to talk about just one very important issue: the upcoming sales tax special election on Tuesday, July 11th. So here's some background. In 2007, the City of Pittsburgh passed a half-cent sales tax to pay for a bond on the debt incurred from building the new law enforcement center over on Pine Street and the fire station on 4th Street. This tax was set to expire in 2018 when the debt was finally paid off. However, the city was able to get a lower interest rate on the debt thanks to the exemplary financial practices of our city finance department. Seriously, there are some super smart people working in the city's finance department. Go check out some of the many reader-friendly documents on the city finance page, including a breakdown of what the city portion of the sales tax pays for. Now, because they were able to renegotiate the interest rate on the debt, they saved taxpayers a whole bunch of money and paid the debt off a year early. So this gave the city a couple of options. They could simply allow the sales tax to expire, since it could only be used to pay off that specific debt, and couldn't be redirected to other uses in the remaining year. The other option, which is the one the City Commission voted to pursue, was to have a special election to replace that tax with another one. The new tax, which is what the public will be voting on July 11th, is only a quarter-cent sales tax set to last for 5 years, which means the overall sales tax in the city will actually go down if the measure passes, though not as much as if it doesn't. So this new tax will be used for two specific purposes. It will leverage additional funds to the tune of $1 million a year toward increased street maintenance. Now, the city already has a quarter-cent sales tax on the books dedicated to street maintenance, but it doesn't bring in nearly enough funds to keep all of the streets in Pittsburgh maintained within their lifespan. Currently, the city is doing less than 1/10 of the amount of work it would need to keep all city streets properly maintained. So this additional $1 million would double the amount of work that the city is able to do on our streets. In the past, the city has utilized matching funds from the Kansas Department of Transportation to get more of a bang for their buck and do even more maintenance. But because of the recent state budget crisis, nearly all of the funding that was used in the past has disappeared, leaving it up to the city to pick up the cost. So the reason that the city uses sales tax instead of property tax to pay for road improvements is because this cost is shared by residents and non-residents alike. Anybody who comes into Pittsburgh and buys anything at all will be contributing to street maintenance. Not to mention that those same visitors are using Pittsburgh's roads when they visit. And there are a lot of people who visit Pittsburgh on a daily basis. So making sure that they are paying for community resources that they are utilizing is important. Moreover, the amount of revenue the city is able to generate from sales tax is significantly greater than what's generated through property taxes. For example, raising the property tax mill levy by a single mill raises $120,000 in funds for the city. That means, in order to cover the same amount of road work done by this quarter-cent sales tax, the city would need to raise the property tax 8 mills. And while the overall sales tax in Pittsburgh is very high, currently at 9.25%, the majority of that, more than 6%, comes from the state, which is again the result of the recent budget troubles. The sales tax that goes to the city is only 1.75%, which is actually lower than most of the cities in the region. And if the street sales tax is passed, that number will drop to 1.5%. The other purpose for the sales tax will be to allocate up to $50,000 every year to a program that would match funding for citizens and businesses to repair sidewalks in front of their properties. It is currently entirely the responsibility of residents to maintain the sidewalk in front of their property. This program would essentially cut that cost in half and provide leverage and incentive to residents to keep their sidewalks maintained. It would also allow them to pay back their portion of the cost to the city over 10 years. Since there isn't currently such a program in place, the number of sidewalks requiring maintenance around the city is astonishingly high. This program would give citizens a reason to clean up the sidewalks on their property and encourage them to get out and walk without fear of mangling themselves on broken and uneven sidewalks. It's a concern that numerous residents have, and as I've mentioned in a previous video, this program is a solution that many of them have voiced strong support for. The reason that this and other taxes have a 5-year limit placed on them is not because the city somehow believes that its road maintenance will be totally caught up in that time frame, because that would be a ludicrous thing to believe. The 5-year cap allows for reevaluation of the tax, so after the 5 years is up, citizens can decide if they want to continue to use it to pay for services, or if they want to increase the amount of the tax because streets aren't getting fixed fast enough, or if they want to add an additional service to a tax. Most of the city's portion of the sales tax is time limited because the concerns of the moment may not be the ones that we have in 5 years. So if you want to make sure that the city further improves its roads and sidewalks to accommodate residents, get out and vote in favor of the proposed tax on Tuesday, July 11th. If you need to check on your voter information to see if you're registered or to find your polling place, check out the link down below. Until next time, citizens. Before I forget, I need a theme song. I've got 3 videos now, and I think a nice theme song would really spruce these things up. So if you've got some musical inclinations or a copy of GarageBand, help me out. I'm looking for something about 10 seconds in length because, you know, this isn't news hour or something. So if you come up with something, send it to my commissioner email down in the notes. If I like it, I'll use it and I'll give you credit. If you've been looking for a way to get civically engaged, now's your opportunity. We'll see you guys next time.